All right, so yesterday we had ended by finding the volume and the surface area for the soccer ball. What I want to start off by doing is having you guys on your own, so you're going to need a yellow calculator. I want you to find the volume and the surface area of this baseball. Use problem number 1 as a guide, but I'm going to give us about 3-4 minutes for you guys to do number 2. I'll touch base as soon as everybody's done. We will go over it, and I will give up to 4 minutes for you to complete that. You're going to need a calculator. You're going to need to write down the formulas, substitute in the appropriate pieces, and then enter it into your calculator. Page 4, dear. So to take it to the third power, you push this button right here, and then you put the number in that you want to take it to. You're on page 4, dear. This is what you're supposed to be working on right now. Sorry, dear. This one's correct. Show me how you put that on the calculator, because what you wrote down here is correct, but that number is not. No, it didn't take that in at the same time. Put it on different lines. Here, use this button instead. Yep, go down. Nope. Yep, 4, and then use the down to go down here, and then go over. There you go. Yep, that button, and then the 3. Yep, that's correct. There we go. You're welcome. All right. What is the very first thing you have to do on number 2 before you can do part A or part B?
Find the radius.
Find the radius. What is the radius?
Half of the diameter.
Half of the diameter. And what is half of this diameter? 3.7. 7.4 cut in half gives us 3.7, and that would be centimeters because they gave us 7.4 centimeters as the diameter. What is the formula to find volume?
4/3 times pi times r squared.
4/3 times pi times what? Radius cubed.
I mean, radius.
Yep, that's okay. 4/3 times pi times the radius cubed. So we have 4/3 times pi times 3.7 cubed. Does anybody remember what button you push on the calculator to be able to put in the cubed?
It's above the square root sign.
Yep, above the square root sign right here. It's called a caret. It looks like the top part of a triangle or like the end of an arrow. All right, so what do you get when you put this into your calculator?
212.17, but I rounded up to
212.175, 212.174. That very last number is not as important. And that would be centimeters cubed. Volume always gets our cubed units here. Nicely done. All right, what is the formula for surface area? Yep, 4 pi r squared. So to calculate our surface area, we do 4 pi times 3.7 squared. And what do we get for the surface area? 0.033?
I just put 2 decimals.
That's fine. If you only did it out to 2 decimal points, that's fine. Centimeters squared. Fantastic. All right, let's go look at number 3. What kind of shape is this? A hemisphere. How much of a sphere is a hemisphere? Half a sphere. We want to find the volume of the hemisphere. The volume formula for a sphere, you guys just told me a moment ago, was 4/3 pi r cubed, but that's for the whole sphere. Do we want the whole sphere? No, we only want half of it. So I'm going to need to take half of this formula. What is half of 4/3? Does anybody know? 2/3. So we're going to use 2/3 pi r cubed because this is half of 4/3. So volume equals 2/3 pi, and then what's the radius of this hemisphere? 2 centimeters. So 2/3 pi times 2 cubed. Go ahead and grab your calculators and tell me what you get. 16.755. What units? Centimeters cubed. Same kind of thing down here with surface area. We want the surface area of the hemisphere. Hemisphere is half a sphere. The surface area formula for a whole sphere is 4 pi r squared. Which piece do you think is going to be different because we want half a sphere?
Instead of 4, it's going to be 2.
Instead of the 4, it's going to be a 2. That's absolutely correct. So 2 pi r squared, because this is half of 4. So surface area equals 2 pi times 2 squared. We want the decimal form of the answer. Depending on the calculator you're using, when you put in 2 pi times 2 squared, it might give you back 8 pi. That would be an exact answer in terms of pi, but that's not what we want. We want the decimal form. Did you have a decimal form answer? 25.132 centimeters squared. All right. And now part C, find the total surface area of the structure, the hemisphere, and, so plus, the circular base. All right, so we're going to do hemisphere plus the circle base. This would be like if I was going to paint this dome, if this was made out of wood, if I took this wooden sphere right here and I took a saw and I cut it in half, the bottom would be a circle shape. And then if I wanted to paint it, this would be the amount of paint that I would need for the top domed part and for the bottom circle part. That's what we are calculating right now. So the volume for the hemisphere, we said, was 2 pi r squared plus, and now we have a circle base, and I need the area of this circle base. How do you find the area of a circle? Pi r squared. All right, so for the hemisphere, 2 pi times 2 squared, which we already calculated. We got 25.132 from that. Plus the area of the circle base, pi r squared. What is the radius of the base? 2. Same as the radius for the hemisphere. So pi times 2 squared, 12.566 is absolutely correct. And then we're going to add those two together to get the total surface area of this figure. You said 698? 698. What units should we put with that? Centimeters squared. Very nicely done. After the next problem. All right, we have one final problem to go, and then you guys are going to have some time to work on the homework that is due on Monday. Problem number 4 says a globe has a volume of 321.56 cubed inches. What is the radius of the globe? We have 2 formulas for spheres. What are those 2 formulas? What do they find? Volume and surface area. Do I need both of them for this problem? No. We just need the volume problem or formula. They gave us the volume. They're asking us to find the radius, so I need a formula that has volume and radius. Volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed. Radius is the diameter divided by 2, yes. All right, they only gave us one number to work with, 321.56. Where should that go in my formula? Goes in for volume, goes in for V. So I have 321.56 equals 4/3 pi r cubed. All right, it's r that I'm trying to get by itself because I'm trying to find the radius. I see over on the right-hand side where my radius is a fraction. I'd like to get rid of that fraction. What operation gets rid of fractions? Multiplication. What part of the fraction do you multiply by to get rid of it? Denominator. So we're going to multiply by 3. If you do it to the right, have to do it to the left. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. Now over on the right, I want you to watch this carefully. Over on the right, the 3 that we multiply by cancels with only the denominator. So that 4 in the numerator is still there. So now I have 4 pi r cubed over on the right. Over on the left, I pop that into my calculator. 3 times 321.56. 964.68 is absolutely correct. All right. We got a couple other things to get rid of. Let's go after the 4 next. What operation is connecting the 4 to the pi? Multiplication. So how do we get rid of it? Division. So we're going to divide by 4 on both sides. 964.68 divided by 4 is 241.17, and that's equal to pi r cubed. All right, what operation is connecting the pi to the r cubed? Multiplication. So how are we going to get rid of pi? We will divide both sides by pi. What is 241.17 divided by pi? 76.766 equals r cubed. Now we just need to figure out how to get rid of the cubed on the r. If that was a squared on the r, what would we do to get rid of it? Square root. We're going to do something very similar here, but instead of a squared root to get rid of a squared, we're going to do a cubed root to get rid of a cubed. Here's what a cubed root looks like. It still looks like a square root symbol, except in front and real little, there's a 3. So square root symbol, but in front and little, there's a 3. Over on the right, the cubed and the cubed root are going to cancel each other out. So over on the right, the only thing I have remaining is r. And now I have to show you guys how to put the cubed root into the calculator. So on the yellow calculators, the first thing I want you to do is push the number 3. First thing we do is we tell it what the root is that we're wanting to use. So put the number 3 in. Don't hit enter. Just hit the number 3. And then do you remember the button that we pushed when we wanted to cube something? We pushed the caret button when we wanted to cube it. Now I want you to do second and the caret button. So with the 3 still on the screen, second and the caret button, and it's going to make that 3 smaller. Did you see it make it littler?
Yes.
Now it's a cubed root. And now you can type in the 76.766 into your calculator. 4.25 is correct. Do we need units with that? Inches, absolutely correct. Why is it not cubed inches? We removed the cubed part. We did a cubed root. Only volume gets cubed units. Radius does not get cubed units. All right. Very nicely done. We have the remainder of class time today for you to work on your homework that is due on Monday. I will be moving around the room offering assistance. If you get stuck on the front side, you use pages 1 and 2 in your notes to help you with the front side, pages 3 and 4 to help you with the back side. But if you get stuck on the front side and you need help visualizing these planes of symmetry or these cross sections, please let me know. I've got some manipulatives up here that we can take and hold and like deconstruct so that we can try to understand how this is working. So please just let me know if you would like some additional assistance.
So we can do the entire bag now?
Yep, you can do the entire homework packet now.
Okay.